Good morning. What is up? I was going to reserve this for my clients, and I realized this is something that I feel really passionate about just sharing. And so I figured, let me just hop on live and do this mini training. And this is so relevant right now. You know, there's so many leaders out there like you and I who are recognizing how important it is that we step up and actually make a change that we want to see in the world. And, you know, it's this idea that we're coming from a place where our body isn't operating the way that we want it to. Like, we feel the fear, and then we feel the fatigue and the exhaustion of that, and it keeps us stuck in what I call, like, it's like a treadmill. It's a loop, really. You know, and in the space of leadership, we talk a lot about energy, what depletes you and what gives you energy. And I want to bring it into the physiology, like actually into the body, because inside the body, what is actually happening is that we have three very intricate systems of the transfer and the transport of energy. It's totally in the physical body. So, one of my spiritual teachers asked us this weekend in a workshop to create a calendar of insanity. And I love that. And I do this with my clients. I call it an energy balance sheet, but a calendar of insanity. In other words, all of the tasks, all of the things, all the activities that you do that are commotional, that cause you to feel really depleted, that cause you to feel really anxious, tense. It's so easy to notice once you stop and you see, like, wow, you know, I'm running on empty. I don't feel good doing these things, but yet you continue to do them. And that's insanity, right? And it's simply this: your body just has an unpleasant sensation. That's so easy. So this loop I'm talking about, right, that's operating, it's out of some sort of fear-driven place, right? So your body is signaling, okay, we're in danger. So we're going to have to utilize energy, fuel that's more readily available. So the good news is that our muscles have a certain amount of energy stored within their cells, which means it's super readily available because it's right there in the muscle cells. So if we're getting out of harm's way, we need to be able to get that energy and utilize it super quick. So we have a limited supply of energy in the form of glycogen stored within our muscle cells. And when the body senses danger and it knows that it needs to get away, it's going to create the chemical reactions to pull that glycogen out of the muscle cells and turn it into glucose in the bloodstream and use it so that we can sprint away from danger. And that's awesome. That's super powerful. We need that. That's what keeps us alive. Now, if the body perceives this, the challenge is that it's not sustainable. There's a limited supply. So, you know, if you stay in this mode of energy transfer without clicking into something that's more efficient, then you're going to experience fatigue. You're going to experience muscle tension. Eventually, you're just you're gonna hit the wall. You're gonna burn out, right? It's that feeling of that lactic acid buildup, the burning, and it's ultimately like an exhaustion, right? So what I say is this: imagine sprinting, right? Imagine sprinting all out as fast as you can, because you need to, we always talk about fight or flight. So you see the predator and you sprint balls to the wall all out to get away from that predator. But where are you running to? That's my question. Where are you running to? You're running towards someone else's version of your destiny. You're running towards someone else's goals. So it's basically like you're going balls to the wall out to run away from the saber-toothed tiger, only to run directly toward a lion. So you're in this fear loop, right? So no wonder why you feel insane, you feel exhausted, and you're, you know, just driven by fear and all the things that you do. And it's just keeping you in this kind of fight or flight situation. And it's so funny because what's the motivation, right? The motivation to get away is not there because you're running towards someone else's dream, not your own. So it still feels crappy. So you're like, I gotta get away from this and run toward this, and I just don't feel awesome. Is that the point of life? Like, to be here and be in fear that we're not living up to someone else's standards, and then trying to run towards someone else's version of your dream life, and then trying to lead others from that place, right? We have a vision. We want to impact the world. We see the world in a very beautiful, very interesting way. And we want to see that through. We want to carry out that destiny where we actually participate in the evolution and the renaissance of the human. Yet we're in this fear loop. And so what I offer here is to start with the fear. Start with the fear, and really it's about dropping the level of importance you're placing on all of it. How important is this fear, right? What is the fear? Get inside of that predator that you're perceiving as being death, and really ask yourself, like, is this predator right now in this moment threatening my life? Is my life in jeopardy in a physical sense? Am I going to die in this moment? And then ask yourself, wow, like what is actually driving me to believe that I'm going to die, right? And then consider this. The next step is, once you drop the level of importance of that fear, whatever that fear is, it's not about staying and trying to fight the fear, because that's exhausting too. You don't beat down an obstacle. You simply dissolve the level of importance it plays on you, and then it's just not going to be relevant, right? Because it's just not that important. And then you flip it, right? So then consider how much more fun it would be to move towards something you believe in. If you are hitting an obstacle, but on the other side of that is the life that you were meant to live, and the destiny that you were meant to carry out to spread goodwill on this planet, then the level of importance that you're placing on that is basically putting your heart and your mind into a beautiful, coordinated effort. It starts to feel really freaking good, right? And when your mind and your body and your heart are in this coordinated effort, you actually shift into a much more naturally rhythmic state of aerobic metabolism. This is what human beings were built for. We have thousands and thousands and thousands of calories in the form of stored fat that we can utilize for fuel to basically run 26, 27 back-to-back marathons in a row without stopping. That's how amazing we are. That's how much energy we actually have in stored potential, and our ability to turn it into kinetic energy, in other words, the energy of action. It just requires that we are at ease. In physiology, we call that steady state, where you're taking in just enough oxygen to go through this beautiful little cycle that we call the Krebs cycle, which is a bunch of chain reactions that pull fat out of stored potential and pull it into the bloodstream as fatty acids, turn it into glucose. We've got a basically unlimited supply, and there's not a lot of excess waste, and our muscles aren't burning out, and we could just move forward very gracefully, very easily, and we start to see that we have this calendar of sanity where we're doing things that feel good, that continue to keep us in the steady state, using fuel very efficiently, and we're inspired. And we can see clearly, and we're not exhausted, we're not fatigued in running around desperate to try to get out of fear only to run toward something that looks like fear. We're actually like, oh, now I see the fear, and the fear will be there, and that's cool. The fear is there, and how important is it to me? Am I going to die in this moment? And even if you feel like, oh my God, I'm going to die in this moment, and that literally is the case, your body will click in and do whatever it takes for your survival. So just trust that. That in and of itself puts you in a state where you're like, okay, I can make a decision to move forward, and then have the motivation to know you're moving towards something that equals a better planet, that equals a great life. I mean, we only got, 80, 90 years? I'm pretty sure that in the 80, 90 years that we're here, like, we shouldn't be like cursing out our bodies and complaining about how much it sucks to be here. It's kind of, why are we here then? But that's a whole other topic. So it's just simply, number one, dropping the level of importance you're placing on the fear in the moment. And number two, reevaluating what you're actually running towards. So what are you running away from? What are you running toward? And put it in the position where it allows you to feel pleasant in your body. Pleasant and calm, pleasant and excited, because that is going to help you physiologically click into steady state, which is aerobic metabolism, which is limitless. It is our natural human state. It is what we were designed for, and you can simply run at your pace toward the direction of your dreams so that you can impact the planet from a place that feels fucking fantastic. Whew. Love you so much. I'm so happy that I got to share this, and happy Monday. It's on. Peace out.